Well, I think we'll have to probably wait and see what happens in the window to see how many players we get in, because we definitely need, I'd say probably four, and not I'm not talking squad players. I'm talking kind of four players to improve the first team. I would say probably we're a little shy in the left back position, centre forward. Um, I think probably we need another centre back and possibly another goalkeeper. Um, and four good quality acquisitions in those positions might give us a chance of staying up. No, I don't actually. I haven't heard the rumor, and I haven't. I don't know too much about him. So I'll have to get and do my homework when I get off here. I think we do because obviously Gavin's going to be out for the first few months of the season anyway. Who was first choice? Alex McCarthy is not in his first flush of youth, shall we say? And has played in the Premier League before, and I thought he was an okay goalkeeper, but I think given the team that we've got, we're going to need a really good goalkeeper. So I think he might have a little bit of work to do this season. Slightly different level of opposition. If we continue kind of to play the way that we did last year, in terms of the taking so many risks at the back and playing out for the back like we did, I've got a feeling the Premier League may punish us a little bit more than the Championship did. He's a good footballer. Obviously had a good spell with us last time round. Scored a lot of goals for us, and if he could come back and be the same player, then I would definitely take him. I don't think that the fans are too enamoured with the way he left. Pretty similar to kind of Adam Lallana, really. Um, and I think he could be useful for us. We have missed somebody who can score goals regularly in the Premier League, since he left us. And if he could regain that kind of form and keep his fitness, because that was the other issue with Danny, is that thought that he might miss quite a few games through injury. So, but the form that he showed with us last time, if he could come back with that kind of form, then I'd definitely take him. I mean, I think they were a little bit frustrated at him leaving. They thought that he was gonna go to like a Champions League club, which uh, when he decided not to do that and took the route that he did, I think the fans were a little bit surprised. But he kind of backed himself into a corner and kind of had no option but to leave really, and the club didn't seem to matter to which club it was. It didn't seem to matter to him. It just meant he was going to get more money somewhere else, basically. I don't think there'll be another Ali Dyer in the Premier League. I mean that story is just uh, something that, because of the professionalism of the clubs these days, is something that could never happen again. Not in the Premier League. I don't believe that could ever happen again. For a ringer to come in and get a Premier League appearance like that, there's way too many staff at the football clubs now to allow that to happen. I remember this young kid coming in to train with us, and obviously we didn't know at this point the backstory to it. And so, like, we always used to get people coming in on trial.
Yeah.
It was a regular occurrence, because we didn't have a lot of money at Southampton, so we take trialists in. We'd have a look at kids from non-league, and I remember this kid training with us, and after a couple of days, I'm thinking, what is he doing here? Right, I actually thought he was that bad. I thought he'd won a competition in like the local paper to come and train with us. Honestly, it was it was that bad. Then on the Saturday, we're playing Leeds, and we turn up in the change room, 1:30 at the Dell. We're all sat in the change room, and he sat in the corner. And I'm looking at the other lads going, geez, that was some competition he won. He's going to get to hear the team talk and everything. And then Graham Souness come in, and he named the team, and he went down the substitutes, Ali Deer and Graham Potter. And we are like, what? And then, 25 minutes, I think the game gone, injury, on he comes, runs around like a headless chicken for about an hour, and then Graham decides that he's seen enough, and he actually substitutes the substitute. He was that bad. And yeah, he then has gone down in legend as being the worst player ever to play in the Premier League. And the worst bit about that story is that bloke he came on as sub for was me. So yeah, they got subbed for Ali Dia. I don't like telling people about it because it's a bit embarrassing, but yeah, that was me. Well, I guess you kind of look at any owners who are willing to dip their hand in their pockets and make the team better. That's kind of what you want from an owner. Obviously, the FFP stuff makes it a little tricky for some of them who have got loads of money to actually, spend as much as they might want to spend on the football club. So those FFP rules actually are punishing smaller clubs trying to challenge the status quo, really. But yeah, there's obviously Man City fans will be delighted with their owners, given what's happened to their football club over the last 15 to 20 years. It's been quite an incredible transformation. But I do get a little bit concerned with the whole American ownership thing, foreign ownership thing, because I'm not entirely sure that they get what our football pyramid is all about. And I'm slightly concerned that if there are enough owners in the Premier League that are against relegation, for example, which they don't really have in American sports. They don't really do relegation. They don't want that. They don't want the jeopardy of that. That if there's enough of them, I think you only need to pass a resolution in the Premier League. I think you only need to have like 14 votes against 6. And so we might be looking at a time shortly where there'll be enough owners in there who could pass a resolution that says there is no more promotion to the Premier League. That's quite a scary thought, because I think that would ruin the entire football pyramid, quite frankly. I think it will be Erik ten Hag. Unless there's some serious upturn in Man United's league form, it wouldn't surprise me if they're not in the top, I'd say top 5 at Christmas. I think he'll come under severe pressure, even if he is going to sign a new contract, because we all know how much contracts are worth in the Premier League these days. So I think, for me, if Man United aren't in the top 5 by the time Christmas comes around, I think he'll be gone. Yeah, I quite like Eddie Howe. I like the job that he did at Bournemouth. I thought it was pretty phenomenal what he did at that club, and obviously had a slightly tougher season at Newcastle this year, given he qualified for the Champions League. That first season was pretty incredible. So I think Eddie Howe is probably the next England manager in waiting. I mean, it's a really hard act to follow. I mean, for what Klopp's done there in 10 years is pretty incredible. And it's always difficult. You saw how hard it was for managers to follow Sir Alex Ferguson at Man United, after he left, and for people to follow Arsene Wenger. Arsenal it's a really, when you've had a legend at a club like that who's done such a good job for such a long period of time, it's going to be really tough. But I watched a bit of I was commentating some of the Dutch football, not this season just gone, but the season before, and I watched Arne Slot's final team, and they actually played some decent stuff. To be fair, they looked like a really good team, but as a character, you've got to have your big personality to go into that job. We saw the size of Klopp's personality when he walked into there. So Slot has got to show that personality to the players, that confidence to the players, to get them on board to take on his ideas, which are obviously going to be a little bit different to Jurgen's, as every manager is. And it's gonna be a big job, but he has to walk in there with his head held high and his shoulders back, chest out, and show the players that he's good enough to be in that job. I mean, the two clubs you're probably looking at in that category are Newcastle and Villa at the moment. They've both had, going to have Champions League football next season with Villa. Newcastle had it last season. there's obviously enough financial clout there to try and bring in good players, but they've got the basis of a good squad. And if the FFP laws don't hamper them too significantly, then in the next 5 years, perhaps those two could have a chance. But it's so difficult to really get to a point where you're going to challenge the likes of Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool. It's, they've been on such a different level for quite a number of years now that it's really difficult for any team to kind of really call themselves title challengers against those boys.